Alrighty, here we go. Good old buddy Mike. How we doing today?
I'm okay, Ed. How you doing?
Oh, we hanging in there. But my
Yeah.
question to you is, before we get started here, what the fuck are we doing here?
Well, Ed, I think it's two people that came together. I mean, obviously, we started off as colleagues, grew into a friendship. We realized we had a lot in common, kind of a similar past, especially with relationships and things like that. And, I think we made this podcast and came together to kind of give a voice to the either younger generation or the guys our age going through the same thing and see if we can't help them out. Maybe give some guidance, maybe give some advice, maybe make them laugh. What do you think?
I don't know, but I can tell you why we're here on a spiritual level as humans. But I couldn't tell you why human beings. I'm still trying to figure that out. I know life's full of obstacles. Either way you look at it, whether if it's relationships or work, uh, or even in society in general, if you meet on a social level. But I do know one thing. We can always say this. We met each other through work, and it all started out by saying Hakuna Matata.
Kuna Matata, my brother.
And I go, what does it mean? It means no worries. So what's the matter with you?
What is the matter with you? Rafiki knows the way.
Exactly, because you want to know why? Because he lives in you, my friend. He lives in you.
So, folks, basically, me and Ed are just sitting here having a beer, just shooting the shit. Wanted to get you guys included. What's going on this week? Obviously, we do check the comments. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you want us to answer. Tell us, if you want our opinion. But we're here for you, ultimately.
Yes, we are ultimately here for everybody and including ourselves here because we want to help each other out. And not only that, we want to share, a lot of things about life, whether if it would be sports to relationships to religion to even on the political side a little bit, but we are trying to be politically correct as best as we can. And the subject of work what should never be mentioned on the show. Am I right, Mike?
We will never talk about that on the show.
No, we will never talk about that. But if it comes to relationships or how you should be professional, that's a little bit different.
It is. Because here's where me and Ed are coming from. We've been through some rough relationships in the past, have we not?
Oh, man, I couldn't tell you how many.
Oh, quite a few here, too. I will say this. My opinion of the modern day relationship has changed compared to what people used to view it as, maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago. Um, I don't know if you guys feel that out there. If you're going through something, if you're married, you're miserable. You have a girlfriend, you're miserable. If you're single and you don't think anybody's out there for you, listen, I've been on both sides of the spectrum. And I can tell you, I might have something to tell you. It may help, it may not. But, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, definitely, completely. Whether if it's that, life situational awareness, and how we can help others out. Maybe if not, we can at least talk about some things that we've seen in life and been
So,
through.
so Ed, not to cut you short, but since we're on the topic of relationships advice, things like that,
Yes, sir.
let the people hear, where are you at right now in your life, whether that be looking for love, are you content being by yourself? What are you looking for right now? After you've been so scorned in the past, are you looking for the same goal? Or have you kind of matured? You're looking for something else? Tell the people what's on your mind.
Well, good old buddy, I would have to tell you this, and we've talked about this before. I don't think we've dived into it as deep as we are now, but I would say I'm at the point in my life now. I know I'm 32, and I have high expectations of a female, and I know what today's society is. I know what I see, and I'm sure we'll go into all that in later episodes. But with that being said, I still the end goal is to find what you're looking for. But at the end of the day, I also realize in today's society, it may not happen due to what's going on in the human nature of the world. So I understand now that I'm at 32 years old, I understand and accept if I'm going to be alone, if that makes sense. Because here's the deal: dating's not like it was 20 years ago. Marriage is not what it was 20 years
I
ago.
agree.
So I'm at the point in my life now. I'm working on myself after my divorce. I'm over the ex-wife. Um, but I don't think you ever truly get over somebody entirely. Does that make sense? And what I mean when I say that, it's not that I have a grudge or I hate them. It's more like there's still a bond and feeling there, like you still feel connected. Does that make sense, Mike, when I say that?
That sounds mature, Eddie.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, not to piggyback off you, I'm kind of, I kind of feel indifferent to where you're at right now because I
Yes.
still give you the credit that you're still on that path.
Mm-hmm.
You're still looking for that someone that completes you, that significant other, that one that, how we grew up, how you were programmed. You're supposed to have this other one to help you out. Not only spiritually, but even nowadays financially.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
financial institution. A lot of people even get married nowadays because it is financially more stable than it is being single. Um, yeah. So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I'll go back to what I said and answer your topic here, buddy. But like I said before, I've accepted if I'm going to end up alone, I've accepted that. And I know that's a big pill to swallow for people my age and your age and younger.
Yeah.
But you got to find yourself in today's world. And when I mean find yourself, you got to realize what's going on. Like, it took me till my divorce because I had blinders on. You ever heard that saying? You got to open the blinds.
Yeah. You got to open the blinders.
You got to open the blinds and you look for yourself.
Yeah.
And you look in the mirror. But to answer your question, I see what you're talking about when it's financially. And I see what we're going through here. It's not a good sight when you just marry for financial purposes.
No, it's the wrong reasons.
It is the wrong
Or
reason.
I could even say the same thing, Ed, when
Yes.
people stay in a relationship for the kids, even though the relationship is toxic.
Yes.
Because I have personally been in that situation.
Yes.
And we can kind of dive into that later. But
Yeah.
I do get what you're saying.
Yes.
And that's noble. I think most men out there, even the ones if they're listening right now,
Yes.
deep down, even though they may act, have a hard exterior on the outside. Deep down, I think most men want that. I mean, that's kind of what we were taught since we were brought into this world. You need to find, you're going to be a kid when you grow up. You're going to find a stable job. You're going to find, the woman of your life. You're going to have kids, have the white picket fence, have Lassie, all that bullshit, Ed. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I just I feel that if there's money exchanged, and I'm going to talk on the man's side here for a minute, not the woman's side. If you are a man and you are financially stable, I applaud you.
I do too.
Because today's economic is terrible.
Not for you.
And it's not for you. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I'm speaking as a collective whole.
Yep.
But as a man, I'm going to go back to the man's side. If you are financially stable, you have money, and I'm not saying rich. I'm saying you are living a comfortable life where you don't have to work. You can gladly take 2 or 3 days off of work and not worry about work. Or you don't have to work at all because you just got that money flow coming in. My recommendation for the men, you need to protect yourself financially.
Protect your assets.
You have to protect it. So if you do meet a woman, I'm going to knock on wood. If you do meet a woman of your dreams, I would highly advise to question yourself before you get into a fully deep, serious, committed relationship with that young lady or woman. I will say that. Yes, prenup is the option. But, you better really think long and hard. And I know us men, we're guilty of this. We don't think about it. We just do it.
Uh-huh.
But when there's money tied to you, you have to protect yourself. You need to ask yourself, can you trust this woman? Can you trust her? That's a big question you got to ask yourself.
But at the same time, Ed,
Yes.
not to cut you off, but
Good.
I don't think. I really think when you get in a relationship, even when you feel like you can trust that woman, in
Yeah.
my experience and what I've seen in other people or other relationships, and I'm not saying everybody's the same,
Right.
but I do believe through the course of a relationship, people change.
Yes,
And
this is true.
I really don't know how much you can really trust anybody that you're attached to nowadays. I've seen people married, even my, stepfather and mother. I've seen people married 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. Plus, I've seen old couples. When I was in law enforcement, I remember serving a protection order to a 63-year-old male.
Wow.
Who was married for, I don't know, 40 years?
Wow.
Maybe just shy, but him and his wife were going through a divorce. She was kicking him out of his own house.
Yes, and this is why I say, men, with money, you got to protect yourself. And you do still have to bring up the trust thing. And I understand people change. But there's another saying, good old buddy. There's another saying.
Yeah.
When you get married, or you have a serious committed relationship with that special someone, you're supposed to grow together in life, not on two opposite tracks. And I know that's the fairy tale version of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you are supposed to grow in life together. And you may be on two opposite ends of the court.
At least that is the dream they sold you on TV.
Yes, you are supposed to grow in life together. But I do understand your point, Mike, and your take, where that's not always true because
it's not.
Because people do change. But here's the other thing. You have to learn about somebody quite a bit before you even go that extra mile with somebody.
But that's another thing I could bring up.
That is too, yeah.
Like, how long do you have to know somebody to? I mean, how long do you have to be around somebody to know somebody?
I mean,
I'll be honest with you, Ed. Me personally, I'll just go through a little bit of my background. I was married for 7 years. I thought I knew somebody, but in the end, I didn't know her at all. So, and kind of like Ed's point, you got to protect yourself. I will say this, and this is my personal opinion. I don't know if Electric Eddie will agree with me right here, but I do believe you were born in this world alone. You'll die in this world alone. You made that money alone. Why is it 50-50 when you're in a relationship? Did she help you make that money? Did she make you financially successful? In most cases, no. I have found in most cases it's always the men that make themselves successful. No woman's help. But yet, when the divorce papers are signed, and you can see this with Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all these rich billionaires that have got divorced recently, the woman always gets a big chunk, if not half. What did she do to earn that money? Now, I get it. You may have kids with them. They may have taken care of your kids, fed your kids, make sure you get your kids go to school, this and that, make you dinner, make you lunch, go to work, this and that. But yet, when it's all said and done, if you really look at the quality of women nowadays that don't even do any of that, why are these relationships or these short divorces that go to court, why are judges or the judicial system still granting these females that did not contribute anything still half?
Man, you brought up a big can of worms that we can just discuss right now, old buddy.
Well, old buddy, that's what we do.
I mean, I may need to go through a case of beer tonight for this discussion, but no, it's like I told you tonight, good old buddy. I told you in the car when we went to go get our pizza for dinner. I told you something, didn't I? What did I tell you?
No, goddamn it, Ed. I'm like 6, 7 beers deep. I ain't gonna remember that fucking shit.
So this is what I told my buddy Mike tonight in the car. We went to go get our pizza. I told Mike, I said I had a little voice talk to me today before I went to work, and the voice spoke to me. It said this, and it's okay if everybody disagrees in here. We're grown adults. We can agree to disagree, or we can agree or not to agree on something. Okay. This is just my opinion. This is a true statement. Me and Mike kind of agree on this topic when I say this. So, in today's society, within the last 20 years, we're going to say in 20 years, maybe longer than that, maybe less than that, but we know of at least 20 solid years, we can agree, because we're in 2026. So, women for the longest time had fought for their rights, and the men in the government world gave them their rights, which I'm not going to sit here and say,
what's right is right. You're human beings.
Right. What's right is right. And you do have rights in this country. You do have rights in this life. But I won't dive into that. But let's just say the men did give women their rights. You know, they gave them their rights to work. They gave them their rights to vote. They gave them the right to go to the military if they would like to, even though that was always optional back in the day.
And you also got to hand it to women, Eddie. During World War II, when the men were fighting war, they put women in the factories.
They did.
And they were putting food on the fucking table for the families.
They did. And that was the exception to the rule back in the day. Because somebody had to keep the infrastructure going.
Exactly.
But I will say this. So in today's society, women preach independent boss babe. That's what they preach. Now, me personally, I don't agree with that statement. Because you don't hear men sitting here saying we're independent boss men. And I say that because if I talk to a woman and she tells me she's independent, she better tell me she votes independent. Because that's the only way I look at it. Because everybody in today's society has to pay for something. And that's just the way the economic works nowadays.
Nothing's free.
And I wish people would understand that. So if you're telling me you're independent, I hope you're talking about your political views.
Absolutely.
And I hope you're talking about your religious views too, because you're independent, which you can be independent in those aspects, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, that's a different topic for a different time.
But what I'm trying to get to my point here is like, you all want 50-50. You got your 50-50. We gave you 50-50. Men did. Not me or Mike. Men did. In the government world. They gave you your rights. They said we're all 50-50. We're all equal in that aspect. Which is fine. It's just fine. So, to me, it sounds like let's do everything 50-50 like a business relationship if we're going to do that.
100, good buddy. 100. Keep preaching.
And if you don't believe in that, because that's what you all asked for and you got it, if you don't agree with that, then we can go back to the old traditional ways. But if you want 50-50, a business relationship, which, to be honest, the only thing different between a man and man business relationship and a woman and man business relationship, we already said, is sexual intercourse.
That's it.
We've already said that. That's the only thing different. Because you're all paying 50-50. You're paying half the rent, half the mortgage, half the electric bill. You're paying half of the grocery bill. Guess what? My car's broke down. I got to fix it. Guess what? Your car's broke down. You're going to fix your car and get it figured out.
Or yet we take turns. Yeah. Well, the brakes need done?
Yes.
And when you tell me to go to the store, put new brake pads and rotors on the fucking car, I'm going to tell you, bitch.
Yes.
I did the last brake job. Get your ass out there and jack that motherfucker up.
But yeah, like, and if you ladies in today's society want 50-50, you want a partnership that's a business partnership, that's the way I'm going to word it, because that's all it is. If you all want that, men will gladly give you that, but you all can't accept that.
Yeah, but at the same time, Ed, let me ask you this, okay?
Yes.
So I want to deep dive into something.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the regular relationship. I want you to look at every relationship you've ever been in.
Yes.
I want you to look at most of the relationships with some of our colleagues or friends around.
Yes.
I want you to look at those, okay? And I want you to tell me what you see in today, in 2026, not when you were a kid in the late 90s or early 2000s. I actually think the traditional stuff ended kind of the 90s. I think the 90s were,
Maybe the early 2000s.
it could be.
It's borderlining. It's
But
right there.
what do you really see? And I'm not being sexist because I believe women should have equal rights, but I'm just looking at the way the world works and how it's going. What do you really see women in most relationships contributing? Have you ever seen a man? Have you ever had a friend that came up to you and was like, "Hey man, you know what am I doing tonight? Oh, you want to hang? I can't. I gotta go home, cook dinner. I had to put the kids in bed because my wife is the breadwinner. I
do see relationships like that.
Do you?
I do.
I haven't seen them too often.
There's not many.
Not many.
And it's the ones that is in the wealthy field, like usually the medical field or the lawyer field, something like that.
Nah, that makes sense.
That would be that kind of line of work.
Yeah, but you don't see that every day.
Unless they hit it off in the real estate industry or the financial department.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I'm not trying to be mean. Who dominates that field is generally males.
I would say 95% male.
I said they dominate. I didn't say they win it. I said they have majority.
I would say even 95%.
Yes.
Would you agree with that number?
I would probably agree with that because the women have come around to where they are all. And
I mean, don't get me wrong.
And I'm going to quote. And I'm going to quote it. I'm going to quote a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know, Eddie Murphy said it best. You know, American women have become so business oriented, it's not even funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of, that's hard to top what he said because it's actually true when he said that.
American women, in my opinion, there's a whole different culture here.
Oh, you have no idea. It's a whole different culture.
It is a different beast. It is a different culture.
Yes.
I have even heard stories where some men have married out of the country, like got Filipinian wives, whatever.
Oh yeah,
and brought the wives back to America, Ed.
Yes.
And after about 3, 4, 5 years, those Filipinian women are filing for divorce because they've been Americanized. Yes. That's what they call it, Americanized.
Well, that's
by American women.
Well, that's because they see the shit on the internet. They see the shit. Well, wait a minute. They see the shit on They see the shit on the internet, and the men let them go into work.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can or can't work. And when you see what's going on at work and you see what's going on the internet, what do you think's going to happen?
Exactly. And I will tell you this. I will say this. Like, I've said this. I say this for other subjects. I think as human beings,
yes,
men or women, we were programmed a certain way from that television you've seen at a young age. I believe the propaganda they put out there, the programs, I believe that is to mold you into what you think you're supposed to do or be when you get, arrive to maturehood.
Yes.
I do believe when these foreign women get over here, and yeah, they have traditional values like the Filipinos or the Chinese, take care of your man, cook every day, blah, blah, blah. And again, these are U.S. values that were really, in my opinion, predominant in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
I would say the latest would be the 80s, because the 80s is when the women started getting their rights.
Yeah, 80s really, I think, turned a point because it was kind of like a punk rock, or like an edgy type decade. You got women walking around with perms, fucking flashy clothes. Punk rock bands.
Oh, don't even get me started about the women's clothing.
Tommy,
don't even get me started.
Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson are fucking on a boat.
Don't even get me started on women's clothing. That's a different topic for a different night.
Oh, yeah, well, it's quite changed. I remember, Ed, or at least I've read stories, back in the 30s.
Yeah.
If a woman showed a little bit of ankle, she was a what do we call that now? A whore. Yeah, a whore.
Well, hell, in some countries now,
they would fucking behead you in certain countries.
Some countries they would.
Yeah.
Or they'll take you and put you in jail.
You see these women walking around nowadays. I mean, they got like what, a piece of grass covering up the fucking nipples? I mean,
speaking about that, I don't know if it's a trend here where we live, but I've noticed something since I've lived here for about a couple years now. What happened to wearing bras?
Listen.
What happened to
I
that?
seen one
I
chick
noticed
walking
that
down the
lately.
street the other day.
Yeah.
Her headlights were fucking on bright, son.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were poking out, and oh, don't get me right.
I mean, I'm sorry.
I'm a look.
I'm not talking mean, but I'm sorry. I was raised to have some values and some morals and some respect. And if you're going to dress like that, you're definitely not respecting yourself. Alrighty. Ed and Mike are back at it once again, you all. We left you off with no bras, and I told my buddy here, Mike, that I was raised with some respect, morals, and values, but yet here we are seeing no bras.
Now, Ed, I will tell you, I wasn't raised the exact same way, so sometimes I like the no bras. When I see them jogging down the street, up and down, sometimes it makes me happy. But what is our topic for today? What do we want to talk about? Where do we want to inspire? I'm just asking you all. Ed, do you have any idea?
Well, Mike, we might as well get to your take on this part before we jump into the next conclusion.
Please.
And you've told me this. Where do you see yourself now in the world and your relationship stuff? And go from there like I did.
If you want me to be honest, Ed, I'll just tell you, and I'll tell the people out there listening. I almost feel like I'm bipolar nowadays, and I really do. And that's even though that's kind of funny, I really do. There's certain days I wake up where I do crave that affection from the opposite sex, a woman. Where I want to wake up next to one, or whether I want to be intimate with one. And I'll go through that phase for a day or two, and then there's some days I wake up where it's like, I want to be alone. I don't want anything to do with a woman. I don't think they can offer me anything. I think I'm actually doing okay by myself. Obviously, we're not only best friends and podcast hosts, but roommates. I mean, really, Ed, I'll be honest with you. That's one reason I haven't really been on like a dating app or like the Tinder grind or whatever the kids call it nowadays, is because like I'll go through a phase where it's like a day or two I'm all about it, and I want to find, I want to hunt, you know what I mean, like a younger man would. And then there's some days I lay in my bed when I get off work, and it's like, dude, being by myself, that's the peace, and it's the peace and harmony that I need. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Well, bro, I can tell you this. You're not missing a whole lot in the dating world, let alone Tinder world. I'll be honest with you. It sucks. Like,
oh no,
I get on Tinder now, and it's like, all these women, I don't care who it is, what she looks like, what shape she is, how tall she is, what she does in her career, what she does in her personal life.
Yeah.
But it's all the same. The only thing different is their shape, size, and what they do for a living. Because anytime you get on a profile, it's these three things. They want money, or they want a boat, or they want a boat and a man that has money. And if it's not those two things, they hate our president of this country, Donald J. Trump. And it's like, why do you even put that on a dating profile? Like, you shouldn't talk about politics till like date 4 or date 5.
Listen, I treat dating like work. Like, if I first meet you, the first things I refuse to talk about when I meet you is there's two things: religion and politics.
Yeah, that shouldn't even come up to like date 5 or date 6.
I mean, and I do believe everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Definitely.
I don't care if you're a Christian, you're a Catholic, you're a Mormon, if you're even an atheist. Like, if that's your opinion, I have to respect that. That's your opinion. I may not agree. Even with your politics. You might be left, you might be far right, you might be independent. That is your political right, and that is one thing. I am happy that I do live in America. I was born in America, and I do support America, is because this is the country of the free, and you have the right to believe whatever you want to believe in.
Yes, definitely. And it's like, I don't understand why people even put that on their profile. I'll never understand that. Like, I can understand if you put things on there that is related to you on a personal level,
Right.
but not your political views.
No.
I mean, maybe religion, because maybe I do want to know you believe in God. Maybe you don't.
Yeah.
But I don't want to know about your political
But that's
views.
your preference. So
Yes.
just to give the people out there, if you're watching, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, it's
Podcast.
me and Ed. We are roommates and we are best friends. We work together. We have a good relationship. We do even think alike, but we do have differences too. Me and Ed, I won't get into political differences, but we do sit on different kind of like political planes. Not political planes, religious planes. That's what I mean to say. But he does not force it down my throat. He does not tell me, hey, if you want me to live with you, you have to think like this or that. We have a mutual understanding of one another. We respect each other's values and opinions, and we coexist perfectly, in my opinion.
Well, that's called adulting. And some people don't know how to be adults.
Unfortunately, Ed, I hate to say it, but even some of these 30-ass-year-old bitches don't know how to adult.
No, we're talking about
age.
men and women.
And-
like, some people don't know how to
No.
adult.
And me and Ed, we're only 5 years apart.
Yeah.
So, we're basically like siblings in a way. We grew up in the same eras. I mean, both in the 90s, both in the early 2000s. That was president. I'm 38. Ed's 32. But we both kind of come from a place where we kind of grew up. In my opinion, I think it's how we were taught is what to look for in a woman, how a woman should treat a man, how a man should treat a woman.
Yeah, we've talked about that briefly there, old buddy, that, the problem in today's society is men are always preached to the choir from day one they're born as to how to treat women, but none of these modern day women, I've yet to see it in 32 years, and I'm sure you haven't seen it in 38 years of your life. I've yet to see a nice young female or nice female. I have to take that word young out because people get mad at me. People get mad at me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Females, they do not know how to treat a man. It's like,
but
how was you raised then? Like, I don't get it. How was you raised?
I will also say this. I will back the females for a second, Ed.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to counterpoint.
Go for it.
I'm a counterpoint. I do think in today's generation, though, it's just a different generation on both sides, in my opinion. I don't feel like some men know how to treat the women either. I will say, I do not think it is equal. I do think it's more of a woman's issue than a man's issue. And I'm not trying to be sexist. It's just what I observed.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, old buddy. And it's also how you're raised in your household. Because every household's different.
Every household's different. So let me ask you this, Ed. Because I do, and I'll just put this out there, Ed. My parents divorced when I was a young kid. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. Were your parents divorced?
Oh yeah, they were divorced when I was 2 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I know that, but the audience doesn't know that. So I mean, I get it. The divorce rate, but let's talk about the divorce rate. Okay, so in today's age, Ed, and I looked it up recently, Ed. The divorce rate in America, I want your take on this, or I want your guess. Do you think it's over or under 50%?
It's in the 40% success rate on your first marriage. It's in the 40%
on the first marriage.
For success rate.
For success rate.
Not failure, success. It's in the 40s.
So we're saying over 50% fail.
Correct. In your first marriage. The first marriage. Now, your second marriage is above 50%. But it's not by much.
You know what's funny is, how many men have you met in the past? Because my father-in-law, ex-father-in-law, was like this. He used to, and my dad was like this too, my real father. He was married. They were both married, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Throughout their adulthood. I mean, I
know many men have been married at least twice, 3 times, 4 times. I know of at least A bunch of men have been married at least 2 or 3 times.
You know what the funny thing is, Ed, is people our age, like in our age group, because we're in our 30s,
Yeah.
believe this or not, and you can look it up. People out there can fact check me.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, people our age group in the 30s or below in the 20s, I would not be surprised if the 50%, I don't want to say the majority, but I want to say half, have never been married.
Well, I can believe that too, because I think people were so pushed, and you can agree with me or disagree with me on this, buddy. I think it's because so many people in our era were so pushed to go get that education and so pushed to go get that career.
Ooh.
When in reality,
Ooh.
reality, hear me out, hear me out. People, don't hate me for this.
No. I like what you put down.
Don't hate this.
Keep going.
People were pushed to go get that education and career and said, fuck the family. That's what it is, because they were pushed to go get that career. They were pushed to go get that education. They wasn't pushed to have a nuclear family, which is sad. Like, they weren't encouraged to have a family. They were pushed to go get this education. But I'll be honest with you. I'll be the first man to admit it. Because you know I have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, I do.
I'll tell you what, audience. That bachelor degree has not done a damn thing for me. Except put me in debt.
Preach, Ed. Preach.
Now, there's only one situation where that helped me. I will honestly say this. If people can agree with me in the audience, they can disagree. I'm talking to you all. I'm talking to my best friend Mike. The only way that paper comes in handy is one or two things. A promotion at work.
And really, you don't even need to have that.
No, but a promotion at work. Like, it saves time getting promoted.
People lie, though.
But people do lie.
Yeah.
But a promotion at work, because it did help me get a promotion when I worked for the government at one point in my life.
Yeah.
So a promotion is one thing. I'm not saying in every line of work. I'm just giving an example. A promotion. Or, let's say you have no experience and you're going up against somebody who has a GED or high school diploma.
Me.
Sorry, Mike, I'm not talking about you, but
it's okay.
But like, let's say you have no experience, but you have that paper. You went to school additional 4 years than what people came out of high school with.
Correct.
That got a GED. So guess who the employer is 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10.
9 times.
9 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Because there's still 1 time out of 10. They are going to hire that person with a bachelor degree. And I don't care what line of work you're in.
But can I give my take, Ed?
Go for it.
So my buddy just made a perfect point, and audience, I do apologize that my buddy took a 90-degree turn on the fucking highway and went from pussy to fucking education.
God, you had to say that.
Since we're into it, I want to give my take on this. So I think Ed hit all those points. Let's get into education. So I know you guys watching this podcast, some of you may have a GED. You may just have a high school diploma. You may have a bachelor's. Some of you may even have a master's.
Or a doctorate degree. I don't care.
I don't care. But I will tell you this. This is my opinion. And I think me and him are close on this. Maybe not all the way. I do believe education meant more in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Going to college could afford you good opportunities.
Yes, it could have. Yes, back in the day. Yes.
I do think now.
No, it doesn't.
I do think it is a paper grab for money. I do, because I have, so my backstory is I did drop out of high school. I do just have a GED. I never went to college. But in some of the roles I've had in the past where I have been in management roles, this and that.
I'll hold you up here for a second before you finish your story, buddy. There's more to the story why there's just a GED. But I applaud Mike for everything that he's been through and how he got that GED. But go ahead and continue what you were saying, buddy.
I appreciate it.
I just wanted to put that out there so people don't say, oh, he's a douche. He's not a douche.
I am definitely not. I could have definitely graduated high school. I went through some hardship my last year in school, and I decided it was, I took my ball and went home. I do regret that. But as soon as I got out, I did get my GED. I did not go to college. I took a different route. I tried to go military route that exactly didn't work out for me as well. I will not get into that in this podcast, but later down the road. I worked in a mechanic's garage for a couple years where I changed tires, changed oil, and then I went into the police academy when I was 20 years old. But I will tell you this, anybody that has an education, I want to say I'm proud of you. I applaud you. You're putting in the work, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is I have known too many people in my past, the people I've come in contact with, the people I've known, that do go out and get these degrees. And like I said, my roommate, my best friend, has a bachelor's degree. I'm proud of him for that. But also, in some of the roles that I have been afforded from the hard work I've put in over the years, I mean, I just know so many people that even worked under me. And again, I'm not trying to down myself, but I have a GED, okay? And I can't tell you how many people I've managed or had to take orders from me that were in an entry level position, let's say, or a basic position that had a master's or a bachelor's or a associate's something. So, like I said, I think it meant something 30, 40 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. I don't think it means exactly the same thing now because I know a lot of people that graduated college that have some type of degree that don't even have the job that, they went to school for.
Yeah, bro. It's hate to cut you off there, but you got a valid good point, buddy. And I think what all this matters is, and I'll get into the educational side of it, but I agree with you wholeheartedly, buddy. And like, it takes all of us to make the world go round. I don't care if you have a GED, high school diploma.
I don't care, man.
I don't care if you had to drop out. I don't care if you had a bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate degree. I don't care if you had 2 bachelor's degrees. But here's the point I'm going to try to make when it involves education. Mm-hmm. And I'm speaking to both men and women.
Uh-huh.
I am speaking to both men and women.
Absolutely.
As a man, you need to find something that you, as a man, enjoys doing for a living. Every man is different. You're not the same. We're all different. And I'm talking to the men first and the females. I'm sorry, but here we go. Men, find something you enjoy and you love to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you love and enjoy to do. Maybe you like the military. Maybe you like law enforcement. Maybe you like corrections. Maybe you want to go get that education in business and be a successful real estate or accounting person one day.
Applaud.
I don't know. I applaud you. However, let's take it back a notch, guys. I'm proud of you guys for doing whatever you do. You're achieving. You're making the world go round. For the women as well, I applaud you as well. Here's the take on the women's side here for a minute. Men work on a financial clock. Mm-hmm. Women are on a biological clock. It has been proven time to time. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that's the way God intended it. Or a higher power if you don't believe in God. That's the way I'm going to word it. So, before you graduate high school, 17, 18 years old, I don't care what you've been preached, what you've been practiced, what you were taught. As a woman at 17, 18, even 19 years old, you need to think long and hard what you want to do the next 5 years in your life. Mm-hmm. Next 5 years. And when I say the next 5 years, that's why I say give or take approximately 5 years. You need to think long and hard what you're going to do with your life. You need to think to yourself, do I need to go get an education? Or do I need to just go get a random job? Or do I just wait for that provider to come into my life? Which, that is possible. I'm not saying it happens.
It's very possible.
But it is very possible. And it's happened before. It's been proven in time. Mm-hmm. Or you go on a mission. I know a lot of young ladies go on missions just like young men do. And I'm not just saying in any religion field. Any religion field goes on missions.
Yeah, most.
But you need to think long and hard what benefits you as a person. And I would even tell the men to do that too.
Yeah.
But predominantly the female, because you're on a biological clock. I'm sorry. You need to think long and hard what you're going to do. You need to think, okay, if I'm going to school, do I need to go get a trade? Do I need to go get an associate's degree? Do I need to get a bachelor's? Do I need to get a master's? Do I need to get a doctor? Because let's face it, when you get a certain age, and I'm not going to get into it because I'm not a doctor, but Mike can agree to me on this.
32.
When you get to a certain age as a female, there's no eggs,
No.
and you can't have babies.
No. So I mean,
and it's entirely up to you, ladies, how you want to go about it. I'm not sitting here telling you what to do, but like, you got to think long and hard what you want to do.
But at the same time, Ed, if these ladies, maybe we have lady listeners out there, and if we do, we applaud you.
Yes.
Listen, if you want to worry about a career and you don't think your wife or mother material, listen, I don't at all blame you, throw shame at you.
Oh,
not everybody is.
Not everybody is.
I will tell you this: to piggyback off my buddy Ed, Electric Eddie in the house. This is Mixtape Master Mike right here. I will say this: he said something about trade school. So I will say this: to get back on the educational part, if my daughter, because I have 2 daughters, very young, if my daughters, and this is true because I've thought about this in my car driving back and forth to work or just in my spare time many times, if my daughters, because I see what the education or where the education gets you in nowadays or where it takes you, if any of my daughters or any of my kids came up to me and they were like, Dad, I don't want to graduate high school. For one, I'm going to tell you, I would encourage them to finish, but at the same time, I don't think that is a death sentence. If my daughter walked up to me and was like, Dad, I don't want to go to college. Cool. I actually, and Ed might disagree with me, like earlier, I don't think college, especially if you can't guarantee a job out of your degree field and you have student loans for the next 20 to 30 years, if you don't want to go to college, that's fine in my book. But I will tell you what I think is more of a better path. I think if you either pick a trade school, because a trade you're always going to have.
Yes.
Or if my daughter was like, Dad, I want to go to the military, they'll pay for college. That would be a better approach to me than my daughter coming up to me saying, A, Dad, can you pay for it? Well, I don't know if you know this, baby, but Daddy's broke as fuck. Or B, Ed, or B, I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a loan. I'm gonna get this degree that can't guarantee me a job, but I'm gonna have to pay the shit back for the next 20 fucking years.
Yeah, and Mike, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on your what you have said. I may have disagreements with what you said, but not entirely. I just feel that time frame in a female's life.
No, I get what you're saying.
Is very it's
crucial.
It's very crucial because
have kids younger, not older.
Yeah, because there's 1 or 2 ways you can go in life there, Mike. If you think about it, there's 1 or 2 ways you can go.
Yeah.
Like, do you really want to be stuck in a classroom for 10 years or 4 years or 6 years?
Exactly.
When you can go get any man you want.
Well, not any man. You can't get me.
I'll rephrase. Not any man. You can go get a man, and I'm not saying what any man, a man who can gladly help you in any path you take. And if you find a good man, he'll support you in whatever you like to do, whether if it's financially or family or religiously or spiritually or whatever you believe in.
But remember, Ed,
yes,
these bitches want 50-50.
Well, I know, but I'm just stating as a whole in general for women who are trying to find their way in life. Like,
no, I agree,
because that is a very crucial time frame in their life.
But you know, Ed, the sad thing is and we're talking about the younger generation.
Well, I'm talking about the younger. I'm not talking about the older.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm going to be honest with you, Ed. I see just as many confused young males as I do females.
Oh, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with that, and that's why I would tell men they got to think long and hard what they want to do with their life, because You know, they got to think long and hard what they want to do.
Let me bring up an example, Ed. So you know my brother. Obviously, we're best friends. Roommates.
Yeah.
My brother's been over here. You know, we made a wrestling list. We'll bring that up on another podcast.
That's another podcast.
But my brother's 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Just turned 26.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells me all the time, bro, I have no idea what I want to do with my life.
Well, I don't either. I'm 32 years old.
You know, the sad thing is, I'm fucking 38, and
I don't know what I'm doing either.
I don't either.
I'm just going with the flow at this point.
At the same time, I look back at the generational gaps. Okay, so me and my brother, for the audience that doesn't know, we're 12 years apart, born on the same day, June 2nd, same birthday.
Yeah.
Born on my 12th birthday, but a decade apart. So when I was his age, I did somewhat have my shit together. I at least I thought I knew what I wanted to do.
Until you got married.
I had a Well,
until you got married.
Well,
that's a different topic. Here we go. But anyway, your brother.
That's another cry and some drinks for another time.
Anyway, your brother here.
But I want to bring up my brother because, you know, I wonder how many people watching this podcast right here, all these people in this comments, that are between the ages of, let's say, 20 and 26. Right now, he's 26, just like him. That's in that age gap, or just your 20s in general. That you're either laying in bed listening to us, you're working, listening to us, you're awake, just driving in the car, listening to us.
We're in a depressed state.
But at the same time, maybe you don't know what you want to do, too. You might be stuck in a shit job. You have a degree, you can't find a job. You're fucking, you're just winging it in life.
Well, Mike, to be honest with you, since you brought that age gap up, if you're in your 20s,
yeah,
men or female, we've already established the point about females.
Right.
But men or women, if you're in that situation, while you're in your 20s, if you're going to change career paths, that's the time to do it. Don't be in your 30s and 40s or 50s or 60s and do it.
You know what?
Do it while you're in your 20s. You'll thank Ed and Mike later because you made your choice. And you still have time to figure it out. I mean, God, you're in your 20s or you're just out of high school. You got a lot of time to figure that out.
That you do, but at the same time, Ed,
yes.
I will bring up a couple things.
Yes.
So one, I do think as the generations that are born going forward, we get younger. So I do believe the people that are like in their 30s right now, like me, you, it's kind of like being in our 20s back in the 80s, 90s.
Yes.
Like you can even tell this with like, photos. Like we even look younger than our parents, our grandparents at our age. Well, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean...
So when they say, like, the 30s is the new 20s, I do kind of think that, like... But I do agree what Ed's saying is... I do think... Okay, so I know two people right now that are 27, 28, pushing 30, that are looking to go into the military right now, Ed.
Yes.
And it's like... That, back in the day, that's a young man's game. You go in after high school,
now
18, 19, 20.
Now it's a little different.
Now it's a little different, Ed, because people are not finding that passion or they're not going down those paths till later in life.
Hell, bro, I still get notifications until I turn the age of 30. I still got emails and notifications from recruiters saying, hey, Ed, we noticed you got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. How you feel about becoming an officer in the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, the sad thing is, Ed, before I moved in with you or before we really connected, I even thought about it again. I was 37, I'm 38 now, but when they pushed the age up for the Army, where it was 41 enlistment, I thought about going back. Yeah. I was like, you know what? That is one chapter in my life I didn't really get to fulfill. I scratched on it a little bit. It was my own doing. Again, another podcast later.
Hey, I had that thought in my 20s, and I talked to a lot of my military buddies, retired military people. I can't talk. and they told me which two branches to go for. They told me either go Navy or go Air Force. That's
No,
what they
I
told
agree.
me.
I agree. Or Coast Guard.
Well, Coast Guard is like, I'm not going to talk anything bad about them. I thank you for your service.
Yeah, but pussy fight. I get what he's saying.
But like, no. Like,
That's okay, Ed. Just call them a bunch of pussies. That's
no. That's not what I'm saying. But like Coast Guard, that does something. That's like a different animal that I don't even want to attack. Like,
Yeah, I get what you're
I
saying.
mean, they go through some shit, bro.
Oh, no.
I mean, they go through some shit. No disrespect to the other armed forces. I thank all of you. I thank every one of you for everything you do. But like the Coast Guard, man,
Yeah.
imagine what those dudes see.
Oh, those dudes see some shit.
Oh my gosh, bro! Like,
Drug smuggling,
Well,
fucking.
I don't want to know what they see. I'll be honest with you. I seen the movie Guardian. That was enough for me.
Let me tell you something.
That was enough for me.
That's
I'm like,
an
whoa,
old movie, but what a good
movie that was. Oh my god,
was that with Ashton
Kutcher?
Kutcher?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher. I'm just saying, no disrespect to any armed forces. I thank you for everything you've done, but the Coast Guard, that's a different animal.
Now I get what Ed's saying.
That's a total different animal. That's like saying, let's go to the Navy SEALs. That's
You know, Ed,
that's like.
I do want to bring this up, if I can start a subject, because we're kind of on it right now.
Yeah, go for it.
But we're talking about, guys in their 20s, their 30s, not knowing what they want to do with their life. So I will tell you this from my own personal experience, and this is true.
Yes.
Like, me and Ed do have an agreement. We will never talk about employment, this and that, where we're employed to just protect our employer, because honestly, they are a good company to work for. But I'm just going to leave it at that. What I will say is I have had a couple careers in my short lifetime. At 38, I think that's old as shit. You might think that's young. I don't know. But I will tell you this. The careers I had, believe it or not, even though I loved what I did, I loved that I was good at my job. I was providing a service. If you look at me at 38, with every accolade I have, and I do have an impressive resume, if you look at my resume, I have nothing to really show for it. My job that I have currently, I look at it like a job, not a career. And I will tell you this. I've made the most money in my current employment than I ever did when I thought I had a career, if that makes any sense. So, I mean, Ed, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, we could get into this as one of our last topics here. I'm sure we'll get into another one here, but real quick. But I feel you, buddy.
Yeah. It's very weird because me and you kind of both have a similar background where we've done more, or our position meant more to the workforce, and where we're at now, it's kind of like a pawn, but we make way more money than we did when we were in a more important role, if that makes any sense.
This is the only thing I would take from anything that we discussed about work related. And I speak to everybody in the world on this, in America, and I hope everybody's listening to when I say this. I think people need to learn how to work on thanking their hard workers and their good workers over the people who are lazy.
Hey, listen.
And I'm not sitting here preaching to the choir, but there's some of us out there who've been forgotten. And I'm not going to sit here and say,
oh, for sure.
And I'm not going to sit here and say it's Ed or Mike. I'm not going to sit here and say it's John Blow down the street. I'm just saying I'm thankful for the experiences that I've had in my life. I'm thankful for the opportunities. I'm thankful for where I'm at now in life. I just want people to realize what they do on a daily, because, a thank you can go a long way.
Oh, it can.
A thank you can go a long way for somebody having a miserable life or a shitty day.
Here's the thing, Ed, is me and you, we come in contact with new people every day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their life. You don't know what they're
You
going
don't know
through.
anything.
You don't know if
No.
they woke up a couple hours ago and just their day just went to
Or they just
shit.
rolled out of bed.
Yeah. Or, you have no idea who you meet, but I will tell you this, in my experience, you don't judge a book by its cover.
No.
You
do
also
not.
you also treat others the way you want to be treated.
That is true.
And that is my biggest pet peeve, because I can tell you, in my line of work, in Ed's line of work, it's kind of like a hospitality field. And you have a lot of people that, not all of them, I would say 99% of people are chill for the most part, but you have that 1% that doesn't pay that respect for it.
No, and I'm just talking everybody. I'm not talking about our jobs. I'm talking about everybody. I just encourage everybody to thank their workers and appreciate them more.
But even the small guy, Ed, like the trash man that picks up your
Yes.
trash, or the mailman, or that guy that's down the street tutoring the kids after school, that's special stuff. Those guys are real heroes, and they don't get a lot of credit.
Yes, you're speaking the truth there from the heart, and I thank you for that and love you for that. I'll tell you another one. Oh, God, bro, that hit me deep.
Well, come on now, Ed, spit that shit out now.
Oh, God, you got me into a topic now. Sports officiating, especially with our youth.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily the professional, but our youth. You got to realize, young men and women. There's some women out there, more so men than women, but there is young people out there, older people. They take the time out of their day and their life,
yeah,
to help their community and help the youth out. And I think so many people are targeting sports officiating on a different level, when a simple thank you goes a long way. We can always disagree with a call that's made.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're the sports official.
Yes.
Like, if it's your call, you're always going to have arguments with sports officials.
That's why I said we can always agree to disagree.
And you're going to bitch and moan and say it's fixed or fucking...
Yeah. Well, like, what I'm saying is I think we should appreciate those people more, because not many people do that. Why do you think there's a worldwide shortage of sports officials?
Actually, Ed, I did not know that.
It's worldwide.
There's a worldwide shortage of sports officials?
Yes, sir. Why do you think games are getting canceled? Why do you think tournaments are getting canceled? Bro, why do you think there's a calling for sports officials? Because they can't get the games covered.
I did not know that. Is there a reason why?
It's because of all the abuse and harassment they take from parents, coaches, and...
So, schoolyard bully antics.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I won't get into it briefly. You can see some of this stuff on the news. I'll be honest with you. I'm a sports official outside of here.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, I had no idea.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
But like,
folks,
we see some shit. I'll never forget one time we're doing a 4-man crew on a little league game, and this is like a state tournament type deal. And it wasn't even my call. I was working one of the bases, and here come a dad or grandfather. I can't remember. And it was a guy.
No, probably been drinking Bud Light since 7 a.m.
I don't know. I don't know the whole situation on their end. I just know our end. And I know it wasn't even my call I made. It was one of my buddies that called it. I called them buddies because we're all buddies. And I'll never forget it. This dude came after us with a bat.
Yeah, I believe it.
And we had to run up in the press box.
Yeah.
Luckily, the press box we worked in had an automatic lock, so he couldn't get in. And we ended up having to call the police to have him escorted off the property in order for us to leave for the night.
Well, sometimes it be like that, Ed.
Yeah, so just things like that. I think people should really rethink what they do before they move forward, because
Oh, exactly.
you do know when you lay hands on a sports official, you can't go to prison for that.
But at the same time, I want everybody to look at me in the camera right now.
He said,
Right?
look at the
So
camera.
listen, when I say this, so I think Ed's point is, if your kid is in fucking Little League, I know you think he's the next Derek Jeter, but for fuck's sake, it's Little fucking League.
I just
Do not charge the sports official. It's a fucking game.
this is just what I want to tell people. Let the kids be kids. Let them
Mm.
enjoy the fucking sport.
So let me dive in this topic.
Yes.
Since we're on it.
Go
So
for it.
because I had a cousin like this. So and I was like this.
Yeah.
So there's something about in fathers. If you're a father, look at me right fucking now. If you're a father, let your kid enjoy the sport. Don't live through your kid. Just because you weren't good at basketball or football or baseball or you fucking sucked at wrestling, do not jam that shit down your kid's throat
No.
and try to make them the next
No, don't do that.
Pele or fucking Babe Ruth or
No.
Michael Jordan. Like,
No.
let those kids have fun and do not. I see that all the time, Ed, and it pisses me off.
Let me-
And I grew up with a cousin. His dad was just like that.
Let me take it from here, buddy.
Yeah.
And I'm piggybacking again from you on this topic.
No worries.
Let the kids enjoy the sport. If you want to if you want your kids to enjoy their youth because they love sports and you love sports, there's nothing wrong encouraging your kids to enjoy the sport, but it doesn't have to be the sport that you like. And moving forward from that, you should just encourage them to do what they'd like to do when it's sports-wise, and be with them through the whole thing. And just, like I said, Mike, encourage your youth, encourage your kids, and don't force it down their throat to do what you don't want them to
But
do.
at the same time, let them fucking be kids.
Yes.
Like, just because you didn't go to college in football
Exactly.
doesn't mean you have to torture your fucking son.
No, that's what I
Make 'em
said.
do-
And encourage them. Encourage them for what they want to do. Like when it comes to that,
If they want to play in the band, let them play in the fucking band.
yeah, let them play in the band.
Guess what, Dad? Your son likes to play the fucking flute. Fuck you. So what if he wants to stick it up his ass?
Oh, buddy. Oh, God, help me if I have daughters.
I already do.
I'm gonna be strict. I'm gonna be strict. They're gonna hate Daddy over here. They're gonna hate Daddy. over
Don't
here.
feel bad, brother. My daughters live 1,000 miles away. They probably still grow up to hate Daddy.
Well, we've already had that topic. But yeah, let your youth be youth. Let them learn for themselves.
Yeah.
You all got to learn from your mistakes in life. And just looks like some adults need to learn from their mistakes too, because it looks like some of you didn't learn a lesson when you were a child.
Again.
I hate to say that.
Yeah, well,
I hate to say that, but it's
some
true.
of you need spanked a little bit more.
Yeah. I tell you what, I got spanked with everything as a kid.
Yeah, my mom broke a wooden spoon over my ass one time.
I remember one night I didn't get home. I got butt whooping all the way home with a fly
Oh,
swatter and a
yeah.
belt. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Hey,
whoop.
there's a reason we're built like we're built.
Ah.
Unfortunately, this younger generation is not. They don't even like to work. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a different topic for a different day because we can spend a whole episode on that.
just alone.
I know. So we're going to wrap this.
Wrapping it up.
We're going to wrap. We, as Ed and Mike, are going to wrap up this episode. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about moving forward. We're going to talk about some things to lighten your hearts and to bring light comedy into your life. Well, maybe you find this fucking hilarious. I don't know.
Well, Electric Eddie, that was funny as fuck.
but-
Like I said, people in the comments, comment below.
Yes. So Ed and Mike here. We plan on talking to you thoroughly about life struggles, sports, religion. If you don't believe in religion, then spiritually. I'll word it that way. Maybe political views. We're definitely going to talk about relationships. And maybe somewhere down the line when we get into each other, we'll interview each other. And then maybe we'll pull some wonderful guests to the show if they would love to do it.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Secret guest.
Secret guest is absolutely right. But we're in it to love everybody. We want to help everybody out. Mike, you got anything for us before we leave?
Just another day, another dollar, ladies and gentlemen. If you did like the podcast, fucking hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. It's Electric Eddie, Mixtape Master Mike. Another day, another dollar. Outspoken Brotherhood. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time, y'all. Have a good night, y'all. Enjoy.